So I think first thing I'm gonna do here is start pulling this wire harness off, which means I need to take this PCV connector off here. I think these are crankcase ventilators. And then I'm gonna pull the ignition coils and this whole wire harness off, which, you know, has these sensor connectors. I don't know what these are exactly. Oh, those are like fuel injector rail connectors. And then the line goes all the way around to the back. I'm trying to figure out where this line goes to. So, yeah, let's see. This is the wire harness right here. It goes down to these two connectors here, which then connect to, oh, this is probably the catalytic converter or the O2 sensors. So I think this is the end of the wire harness. So we'll disconnect here and then pull that whole wire harness out first. Yeah, so this wire harness is kind of bolted to the engine here as well. Dust. So it's got that, which connects down here to this sensor. This has another sensor that goes all the way up here. So this wire harness has all these clips. And then there's another wire that goes down the whole back of the engine. And this looks like a ground line. Yeah, so this is a ground connector that goes up in this harness. Is that it? Yeah. There's a ground wire there. And then it also goes to this, I don't know what this is here. Maybe this is the ace. No, this is not the ace. That's the crankcase. There's drive shaft, I don't know. So anyway, and then we also have the connectors up front here. I'm not sure what that one is. This wire. Oh, this one's gonna be fun to get out because it goes in way deep there. So I'm not sure where that line is going. So yeah, this will be fun. And then it's got connectors all over here, here. This comes up into here. This is your transmission pan. So I think we'll just pull the wire harness off to this point and then just lay it off to the side. So tell me when you're on. Okay. So I'm just taking the turbo thing off here. So I've got this loosened. I've got this loosened here. So I'm just gonna take this off, go around the other side here. And then I'm gonna, so once I get this piece off, I'm gonna pull this tube, so come up here, Tiger. And I'm gonna disconnect this. Oh wait, yeah, so I'm gonna unclamp this, take this tube off, and all this section with all of this. So I'm gonna loosen this up and just pop this whole section off. So I don't know if you wanna keep watching, but once I get this done, I should have just got an extension out of this. So let me grab the extension real quick. Let's go a little faster. in there, and let's go ahead and get this screwdriver.
Should I stop?
Nope. So we're all disconnected there. Off. Let me get the channel box. Got this disconnected now. And that'll allow me to help get the other side of this. Oh, yeah, actually that should all come together with this, which means, is that my 10? Is that a 10 as well? Hold on. That's smaller than a 10. It's probably an 8, I'm guessing. So we'll just, yep. Screwdriver go over there, because I need to disconnect this as well. So there's these 2 bolts holding the turbo back feed there, or intake, whatever you call it. So I'm getting both of these bolts out, and then we should be able to pull this whole section off the engine. That'll make it look a little bit smaller. I'll leave that bolt there.
All this to have some wheels turn.
Yeah. A lot of work to make those wheels turn. Oh, see, this one's got a little spacer in it because it goes kind of down into that hole. It's supposed to sit up a little higher, so it has the spacers. All right, then I think I just disconnect this to here. Get that nice and loose. Look at this. Pull that off. Pull that off. There's a messy, see, look at this, inside here, see all that oil? That's not good. Shouldn't have that much oil in there. So all that's going right into your air intake, into your intake manifold. That's not good. Building up on your valves. Okay, you can stop. Okay. So just part of getting this harness, now that we have the turbo exhaust taken off, it's a little easier to see kind of what is what. So this negative, this is a ground cable that grounds the block here. So I was able to get that off, and then this connector here, this one went along the whole turbo and actually connected into the piece that was up in there. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this wire harness out here. I've loosened this, well, now I put it back in. So I've loosened this little bracket. I'm gonna pull the wire harness out here. So that's this way. And now I have this whole wire harness that goes to the ignition coils and all of the fuel intake rail, or fuel rail. now I'm just gonna disconnect these connectors here now that I got that turbo off. Let me just put this back in here for a second so I don't forget where it was. So I just need to disconnect these guys. One. This one looks like it disconnects from this end. Yeah. Oh yeah, same with this one. Okay, so now I can pop these guys off of here. See, I appreciate all the videos that Ford Boss Me did. So helpful. Shout out to him. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and everything so us cheapskate DIYers can get it done. But this is one video I noticed that he didn't have, is just kind of dissecting all the components off the top of it. So I was a little skeptical, or a little nervous on that. So now that I got this all done, now I can just pull this whole wire harness off. I think I have one more connection on the front of the engine that is kind of buried, so we're going to have to come back and redo that video. So I should have just taken this tube off here. Okay, so come over here. Now you can see my octopus here. That's great. And then I got this one connection, but it's deep up in here. Actually, yeah, this one line, and it looks like it's going down. Yeah. So I don't know, it's coming all the way down here. Yeah, I don't know if this is the temperature line. Yeah, I think this might be the block temperature sensor, and the other just like the water temperature sensor. So we can stop the video. Anyway, I'm gonna undo those, and then we'll be able to pull this whole wire harness out. Rolling. Okay, let's get some of these vacuum lines taken off of the top of the engine. These are pretty simple here. So this is more or less for my documentation. So we got the crankcase. These are a little weird connectors. You gotta get your finger, there's two little tabs on this side here. You gotta pull those up while you pull this out. So it's kind of a two-hand job here. Good thing I got a helpful assistant here. So you pull that out just like that, and then you can pull these guys off. So nice tight. Here's another one right here. So you can see the two tab connectors here a little bit better. So you're gonna pull these tabs up off the clip while you pull this guy down. And then this connects. So there's this vacuum connector. So we can set this aside. And then I wanted to get this other line out of my way because it's annoying. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this off the top. It's good to have this documentation because I guarantee you I'll forget where everything connects in. So, and then this comes around. You can come around here to the back and you can see how it has this little U-tube. U-tube, I said U-tube. Let me get a wrench here.
You're gonna post it?
And then I'm gonna post my YouTube video. I don't know where I'm gonna post it, but okay, this one's being a little booger. I'm kind of special when it comes to clamps. They don't like me. This one in particular is in a booger, I'm sure. Destroy this hose, hopefully not, but try to break it free here. Anyway, you get the point. I'll get this off later on someone else's dime. So, thanks. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So now these quick disconnect hoses are pretty cool here. So we're gonna just squeeze these connectors in right here, and then you just pull these guys out. So see these little clamps, you just squeeze in here. So do the same for this guy. Okay, I'm gonna have this engine freed up here pretty soon. Let's do some clamps here. There we go. I like it when I'm able to actually get the clamp to connect into its little notch. And then I got this little tool right here. This is nice because you can just kind of put it in the end of the hose and help kind of break it loose. So between twisting the hose and kind of pulling it with this thing, kind of helps the hose come a little better. Not my face, the engine. They don't care what I look like. All right, let's get this little clamp here for this hose. Let's see if I can get it to clamp into its little. Clamps hate me. Fine. I'll just pull this one back. We'll just pull it out. Get down in here. There we go. Okay. So that's that one. And then we gotta get, these are all just kind of connected together, so help me keep an eye on which ones go where. LT gray. We might get a little bit of coolant coming out of some of these, but each of these clamps. Alright, where's my tool? Now I know why people don't videotape this part, because it's sort of a pain. It's a little embarrassing. Okay, good. Not a lot of coolant in that. So, yeah, see, now we're getting down close to where this other electrical connector is for this big wire harness. So, do we have a light? Well, I might be able to get this here. Come on. Am I doing this harness wrong? Feel it moving. Okay. I'll have to get that later. Let's see if we can get this clamp at least. Got this guy out of the way first. Okay, let's do that. There's your oil cooler line. Yeah, these guys are a little married. They've been there for a while. This engine's got 115,000 miles on it. So, and the owner just barely, well, the owner didn't realize that these had the coolant leak problem. So she didn't get it covered by warranty. So we're kind of stuck doing it. But we got a good deal on the car because it was useless to her. But now we get to do the fun. Sometimes that's how you can save money on vehicles. So, all right, let's get this tube broken loose. Almost got it. Dripping. Break it loose more. There we go. Delicious Slurpees. Well, that was a long line, or a long hole there. Let me just cram this in there for a second. Eh. Now I can get to this clamp a little better. Oh, hey, that one cooperated with me. Did the little clamper doodle thing. Okay, let's break this seal a little. Okay. It's coming. Okay, so, oh my gosh, we got coolant everywhere here. All these hoses. This is gonna be like a Rubik's Cube, putting it back together.
Rubik's Cubes are easy.
Yeah, because you can YouTube it. And there's a billion Rubik's Cube videos, but only one of these. Okay, so now I gotta get this guy. I'm gonna have to get the needle nose to get into this clamp. Okay. There we go. Got the clamp off. I can rotate this hose. That breaks it loose. This might have coolant, so I'm going to cover the AC compressor ports here. Okay, good. There's not a lot in there. All right, there we go. We got a lot of the coolant hose stripped off of the front of this beast. Okay, and then now we have this electrical connector. I can see it a little better now. Oh, I had it disconnected. Now I just got disconnected again. There we go. Okay, so I got this electrical connector. That's just the coolant temperature sensor. I pull the little bracket off the block here. There you go. And then there's another sensor up in there. And this is going to be the last thing for this wire harness. I think I have to just get my hands up in there. Easier said than done. Yeah, that's a tight fit. Anyway, you know what? Then there's another wire that goes over to here. That's to the AC compressor, right? Yeah. And it's clipped in there. What the heck? Is it connected directly? I don't know what the heck is going on here, but this is going to take a minute, so we'll go ahead and I'll just come over here real quick. So yeah, I'm just trying to get these connectors right here. So there's just this one connector. I think it's the block temperature sensor. Can you zoom down in there? You see that? There's a block temperature sensor down there. So I just got to disconnect that, and then I've got this whole wiring harness loose. Okay, we'll finish. Okay. All right, so we're just getting these front hoses off of the engine here. I just wanted to make sure I documented where these guys are all going. So let me break this one loose. I've already loosened some of the clamps. So anyway, let's go ahead and see if we can get these out. Some more. Get that out of the way. Progress. All right. Now we're going to come over here and do this guy right there. Got it to lock open. like it when I do that. Let's break this loose. There's that clamp. Problem with having them locked open is you can lose them. So.
Did you get any stuff in there?
Oh, probably. Man. I'm gonna have to suck that out. Dang it. So, all right. So now we got these done. Now come on over here. So these two lines, so this big line that I just disconnected goes right up into this guy right here. So you see there's two lines coming out here. You got one, which is this tube. Okay, so we can pull this tube out of the way. I've already undone the clamp. So pull this tube out of the way. Set it down. And then this is the other tube that we just disconnected the other side of. Oh, I must not have broke it free here. Oh, I kind of did. So it should decide to cooperate. There we go. Got it. And these tubes are kind of zip tied together and everything all the way up to here and there. So I went ahead and undid this one as well. Oh, there you go, Papa.
Yeah, got a shower.
Got a shower. So, and then, so now I can just, oh, yeah, antifreeze going everywhere. Let's, because these are the heater core lines. Sure, yeah, now I guess I got it all. It's all on the engine. Perfect. Okay, so then I'm just gonna squeeze these lines through here. Want to pull them off? Well, maybe I'll have to pull them all the way through. Yeah, I just gotta fish it all the way through. Just gotta do it. All the way through these heater core lines. Gotta love them. So there you go. You got your heater core lines, and then one other one there. So we'll just set these down over here.
In the snake pit.
In the snake pit. Now, next thing we have, come on over here. I'm going to start working on this wire harness. So we have the really big ground cable, engine block ground over here as well. Then we have the starter connector. I had to just open this little box. You can see here, I had to just get a little screwdriver and pop these two little clips. And then I just got to get a socket, and then I could disconnect the starter over here, and then that can come off. And then I'll go ahead and disconnect the alternator lines here. And then you have the AC compressor, which I can go ahead and get it now because it's just a quick clip. So I got the AC compressor. So I'll just get the starter and the alternator lines disconnected, and I'll just fold this over here, over the transmission. We don't need to pull it completely off. Although that'll be 90% of it anyway. Okay, I don't need to document anymore. All right, let's get this turbo off here. So I've already got the bolts out of this plate. There was just these two down here And then one on the side here, I got those off there, but I can't get this plate out of here because of this, this coolant. This is the turbo coolant intake here.
That's actually oil line.
It's coolant because I just pulled it and there's
Oh,
coolant.
is it?
Yep.
Okay.
so I undid this bolt over here and then go around the other side here. Got myself into trouble over here trying to pull these coolant lines, and I stripped this Torx bit. But I think we might be able to just leave this on the valve cover, or this section of the engine. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this line, these lines out. See, there's definitely coolant there. Then that allows me to get this out of the way, and now I can start taking these bolts off for the turbo, and then just disconnecting. Here's a vacuum line right here I need to disconnect, and that actually goes all the way back over to here. So I'm going to disconnect this vacuum line, actually record this vacuum line coming up and over down through this clamp, and then have it coming up and over into the middle of this little, I think that's just a little vacuum pump, an electric vacuum pump thing. So anyway, okay, that's good. Thanks.
All right.
Okay, so we're just pulling, this is the oil line to the turbo.
Turbocharger oil lines have a tendency to get real brittle because it's such hot oil. And so when you bring them off, it's a darn good idea to get a new one. And if that's not an option, then be very careful how you twist them around.
Yeah, like
They will
this,
crack and
this
break.
looks like the oil
That's
pump.
the return.
Yeah, so it looks like this is the one I've got to be careful with.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the whole turbo's like hinging on it right now.
That comes right off. It's try it the other way. No, you gotta take it. Okay, so you're right.
Do what? Is it coming?
You're doing fine.
Is it coming out?
Yes, it is.
Is it coming out?
No.
Can't see. Yeah, it's slowly coming. Yeah, it's coming. There you go.
Now that little clamp is gonna get lost real easy.
Yeah, that's why. Okay, so I was talking about this clamp right here. See how this is loose right here? Well, it looks like it's staying on. It doesn't pull off.
Oh, okay.
So that's good. And then, so that's the whole turbo and exhaust. Here's the cover for it. And then I'm just gonna keep these 4 stud nuts up in here.
Perfect.
Looks like this was not supposed to come out all the way. I think, yeah, when I undid this bolt, the entire nut came out with it. So it's okay. I think we can still reuse it. And then I have these two. Let's see. Where this is the one that I pulled off. Which one did I pull off here? I think this is the one I had off of here on the bottom. So I'm gonna leave that there. This is the one I had on the top here. Those are all just, these are just the 10 mils. Let me go check. Yeah, so that's a 10 mil, sorry, 8 mil. That's an 8 mil. And then, what did I have? Where did this Torx? Oh, did you get that Torx one off? Up front? Oh, okay. I don't know what this one's to then. So I have another Torx that's pretty stripped out, it looks like. So I'll figure out. Oh, that's where this held these guys into the turbo for the cooler. So I'm gonna put that back over here.
Oh, you're
That was
dripping
on.
some oil.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that was right here. So and this was just the Torx bit right here. Luckily, that one came out. I might replace that one. So I might go get a new Torx. Not for that. Let's turn this back over. Let it drain all the oil out of there. Okay, that's good. Thanks.
Alright.
All right, so we're gonna take the ignition coils out, and then we're gonna get these. This is a weird connector. I can't quite figure it out. I had to get my screwdriver around here. I had to kind of pull this out to get these. I had to do it on both sides, and then that gets it open here. And it's the same connector here. So I was able to get that out there. And then I've already done the bolts. This is very simple. So you just pull the ignition coils up. Does it matter which one's which? I think it does, actually. So let's keep track of these in order. So 1, 2, I'll bring them over here. I'll set them right here. 1, 2, and then we'll go get 3, 4. Maybe. It looks like they're, well, I don't know, they're angled about the same, but 3, 4. So let's make sure not to get those mixed up. That's all your ignition coils, and then now we get to start. Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and take this. I think that's just like a vent tube here, so that's good. So yeah, I'm just gonna take these clamps off. I don't need you to watch me struggle with clamps again, but here's this clamp and this clamp. So vent tube going over to the side here.
It mixes with the oil.
Okay, so look, I just pulled this vent tube off, and look at this. Look at that. It looks like I'm picking my nose here.
Yeah.
This is disgusting. I think that's part of the, because small traces of coolant getting, what did you say, Grandpa?
Into the oil.
Yeah.
And trying to mix with it. And
gosh, dang it. That's gross. See, look down into this tube as well. Yeah. Grody. Yeah, so I'll need you to help clean that. You can just wash this with water.
that's the result of either some holes.
Okay. So we're just taking this intake coolant part off the engine off. So I already got all the others, so I don't want to bore you guys with taking that's out. So this may splash. I'm not sure exactly what to expect, so we'll have a catch pan here for that. It doesn't look like anything is coming. Oh, this is cool. Oh, look at that. Yeah, literally, it is pretty cool. Now let's just dump some of the coolant off of there. And that just, I guess,
That's the
cools.
turbocharger air.
Yeah, because all the air that comes in through here is so hot, this helps to cool it down. Yeah, we can just set this down on the ground and let it drain for a little bit. Okay, thanks. That oil sloshing around in there. Okay, this is, I don't know if that's good to have that much oil in your coolant intake.
No, it's not.
Or in your air intake. I think that's a bad thing. Bad. Okay, there are kits that you can buy that that help to drain the EGR.
Go.
Okay, now we're just gonna pull the alternator off here. Just 3 bolts, it looks like.
gonna put a new alternator on?
I don't know.
How many miles?
115,000 miles. Might be a good idea to just replace some parts. Okay, so there we go. And that's how you get the alternator off here. Let me just get these last few here. And then this.
Engine.
Hello there.
Look, it's a big engine. Okay.
Don't let Winston look up anything.
Alternator. Thank you.
That's an alternator.
Go.
All right, AC compressor, 3 bolts, 13 millimeter. I loosened them before we started recording, so that's why they're kind of just hanging here. Let's just do that by hand. Nice long bolts. Okay. All 3 of those are out. Okay. And then I'm going to keep this little nut on here. I think that was a ground nut or something. I don't know. I'll have to go back and watch the video on that one. So maybe I'm going to set it upside down so that any coolant and junk that we got in there from pulling hoses will drain out. So, set it over here on this for a second. Let's not do that. Okay, thanks. All right, so we got the fuel rail. We got the.
Turn your light off, kids.
Oh, well, I'll turn it down here. Just face it down. So we got the fuel rail, and this is the wire harness for the fuel injectors. And they're way down in there. Like, I'm not exactly sure how to get those injectors out. So I'm just going to try to pull this rail off. 10 millimeter bolts. I already got this one. And then, oh, I didn't. Oh, it looks like that's loose, which is good. And I just got to undo this there. Let me grab a wrench. That. Oh, probably a 13 or 14.
Yeah.
Oh, much bigger. Let's do 15. Oh my gosh, 17? 17's the next size up I got, so hopefully that'll take care of it. Good. Okay. So 17 mil. Yeah, I'm getting gas on my fingers. So now let's just see if this pops up. Would you look at that? A little complicated and awkward over here. Oh, and it looks like the injectors came out with it.
Yeah.
Injector pullers. What? I don't know. I saw some videos. They were talking about needing special injector pullers so that we can get the valve covers off, but
They're called your fingers.
this just came all right out beautifully. Oh, thank the Lord. All right. Thanks.
Go.
All right, so we're just taking off this little box here. I don't know if it's something to do with the vacuum system or what. So just got the T30 Torx bit. Wasn't that just special? Okay, and it's connected through all of this here. I don't know if I'll That's not a T30 Torx, that's something else. So maybe I'll just get a clamp thing and undo. So it goes in, yeah, goes into the front of this vacuum. Looks like a vacuum pump here. I'm gonna call it a vacuum pump. You all can laugh at me later if that's wrong. And then just connect it off of this guy right here. Rather than trying to take this whole thing off, I'll just pull it off. There you go. So there's that. And now we can get to the valve cover bolts all the way around. I'm so happy that, oh, actually I have to pull this guy off. I don't know what what this is, but I have to pull him off so I can get to that valve cover bolt. So that looks like an 8 mil, 8 or 10 mil. Yeah, it's an 8 mil. So I'll go and pull him off real quick. Ah, interesting. It's sealed in there good. What is this, Pops?
Some kind of injector.
Electric. Well, it's something electric. I don't think it's an injector. I think it might be a sensor of sorts.
No, it's not a sensor.
It's in the top of the,
It might be a sensor. I don't know.
like a crankcase pressure sensor or something like that?
Yeah.
Oil pressure sensor?
No, not an oil pressure sensor.
Oh, I don't know.
Might be crazy.
We're learning here. Okay, thanks. All right, so just trying to uncover all of these valve cover bolts all around here. And then I think I figured out what this is. I think it's a camshaft position sensor because there's 2 of them, one on both sides. So let me pull that guy out. It's a little tight. Yeah, same thing. Same looking beast. It's got some little shards on there, it looks like. That's not good. So, anyway, got a little filter. I'll put that over there in a second. Set that there for now. Put this in here. Okay, so then I have this. The other thing that's kind of in the way is this tube. This was the turbo, like, little vacuum tube. So, I think I can just, well, yeah, I can pull it out of its clip here. Do I need to pull this off all the way? Yeah, well, I'll probably just leave it hanging on that thing because we'll take this little section off when we take the valve covers off. So I think that's good. Thanks.
Go.
All right, so now we're going to take off this turbo air intake plastic majigger here off. So to do that, we have this 10 millimeter bolt over here on the side. We'll start with that. I've already undone it, so I'll set it down here for a second. And then we have to get inside here. And then we have 2 10 millimeter bolts right there and there. I'm just gonna do that with this bad boy. Goes a little bit faster. Come on, cooperate. Oh, maybe it wants to just stay in there. Okay, so here's another 10 mil bolt. That one was a little stubborn. And then the bottom 2 are 8 mils. That's this guy here. And this guy here. And then we have another 8 mil bolt right here. like it's got a spacer on it. But yeah, so it's kind of got this weird spacer connector thing. So I think that's all the ones. Oh, there might, oh yeah, there's this 10 mil right here. Something else was connected to it because it's already loose. So let me just get in here and pull it out. Oh. Yeah, it's, huh, interesting. Okay, let's see how this comes apart here now. Yeah, so we gotta just break the gasket here. Looks like something's still connected. Oh yeah, there's another little, oh my gosh. That guy's a booger. Oh wait, they gave you a little hole for it right here. Check that out. That's nice of them. Thank you, whatever engineer did that. So see that bolt right there? Got to get that guy. So that looks like an 8 mil. And just, that's it. Okay, just came loose. And it's nice because the Torx that we stripped is connected to this coolant line. So now that's all out of the way. Let's see, we have a connector here that's holding us to the engine. A couple things here. So you might have to bring, yeah, you might have to bring it up here. Come over here, Tiger. You can see we have these two connectors. I'm just gonna get, those look like 10 mils. So yeah, we're dripping something here. So I'm just gonna pop these out. I don't know if I can get this in here. And those guys don't want to come out. Okay, so I'm gonna have to use a bit. I have to use something a little stronger. Yeah, but it's wrong. Let me go get a 10 mil 3/8, 10 mil 3/8, and that'll fit my bigger ratchet. I can pull these guys off. Yeah, they're just a little bit more stubborn. Oh, these look like some kind of ground wires. Okay, let me get this one loosened up. Actually, this intake manifold doesn't look too shabby, which I'm surprised. Yeah. You seeing that? Oh yeah, you are seeing it. Okay. I mean, there is some oil residue built up in there, but I was expecting a lot more. So maybe this plastic canister thing they have here traps enough of that oil and keeps it from entering the intake, which is good. I like that. Pretty long bolts here, but there we go. Now we have that. I gotta get this whole turbo rail thing out. There we go. And that's that. And we have these bolts. They have these little lock sleeves on them. Keeps them from falling out. So here's another part for you to wipe up. Thank you. All right. So I thought I got all the stuff out of the way of the valve cover bolts, but I didn't. So there's this little, I don't know if this is a crankcase sensor, knock sensor or something. I don't know. So I'll just put it right here, put it down, and then I got this. These are all 10 millimeter bolts going in, and the thing that's nice is they kind of have little retaining clips, so you can't accidentally drop it down into the spark plug or the injector holes. So all of these, I've already done all of these, and then come around this side, and this one is on a deep. It has a stud there, so I needed to get it 10 deep to get it loose. So we'll pull it out. Now, I think we're ready to pop this crankcase up. I don't know how easy this is gonna, yeah, it looked like it budged a little. And these valve covers, sorry, did I say crankcase? So, yeah, now I just work my way around here. So you can hear the seal. Looks like this is just like a sealant. Oh no, it's an actual gasket. I thought they maybe just used sealant. There you go. So now it's all loose. Oh, let's get the dipstick out of there, and we'll set it aside. And you can see the valve cover gasket wants to stay. It likes its home. Well, you know what? We'll pull it off of the valve cover itself. That's an interesting gasket. Snakes all over. Okay, and there's your valve cover, ladies and gentlemen. And then there's your cams, your camshafts. Then I've got to get this other part next. So I'll just set this over here.
Yeah.
All right, so we're getting ready to pull the starter. There's these 3 bolts here that are either 13 mil. So I've already got them loosened. So I'll just go ahead and put these back in here so that we can keep them handy. Yeah, the teeth still look decent on that starter there. So we'll pull these out, set this aside, and then this makes it to where this crankcase vent assembly here. I've already loosened all of these. I just need to get one more, which is behind the starter here. So got it loose now. And we're gonna, I undid this bolt here. This was a 10, these all were 8s here. So let's see, what do we snagged on down here? It's not screwed in anymore. I don't know what. Just gotta work it out. There you go. Yeah, so, oh, lots of dust in there. But yeah, you can see the snot there. You see all the oil buildup inside this and the antifreeze. So maybe this keeps it all out of the crankcase, but yeah, so that's why this was a little hard to pull out, because it was just a nice tight gasket there. So I'm going to set this aside for a second. And then we have, now I can get to this bolt a little easier. I think this is the water, yeah, this is water pump. So we'll pull this water pump off. 13 millimeter bolt. It's trying to wiggle here. Oh, it's a nut, sorry. Don't pay attention to me. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Yeah, we may have to undo the other side of this to get, this is all one assembly. Yeah, which means we have to take this whole assembly off as well. So it doesn't look like we can get this guy off yet. I'm not exactly sure what's holding it on. Okay, so I guess we'll have to come back to that. I'm just gonna leave this on there so I don't get confused. And I think I'm gonna start taking these off. We can come back and kind of figure out what needs to happen next year. Okay, thanks. All right, we're gonna go ahead and take this. This is the idler pulley, belt tensioner off. Let's set these aside. And that gives us access to the timing belt cover here. So we'll pull these off. And, ooh, this is a different size bolt. So they're not all the same bolts. 2, so that one's a little longer there. And this is another short one. 3, here's one that was behind that pulley. 4, they're mostly these shorter ones. This one was by the water pump. 5, there's one down here. 6, and there's one over here. Yeah, you can see that guy moving. 7. So it looks like there's 7 of them all together. And then there's like this, I don't know, this rubber thing that wants to stay on the engine a little bit here. Does it slide out? Yeah, it's like it just slides out this little groove. And this is also a problem here because the water pump, I'm not sure if we have to pull this off. We might have to pull the pulley off to get this off, because I've already loosened up all the bolts for the water pump. 1, 2, 3, already taken all them down, and it's still feeling very connected. So I think to get this water pump out, I think there's another bolt here behind this timing belt cover. How stupid is that? It's really stupid if you ask me. So I'm gonna have to get something to hold this shut, or to hold this still while I take these 3 off. Yep, that's where we're at, because this guy's not coming out this way. All right, so just to get this crankshaft pulley off, we just have to use the impact wrench. It comes right out there.
Big bolt.
Looks good, yeah. And this pulls right off. How easy is that? No pulleys or anything. No pullers needed. So we got lucky there. Now we just need to figure out how to get this guy off. So we could probably just use the impact wrench on that as well real quick. So, all right. So yeah, to get this water pump pulley off, we just use the drill to get it done quick, an impact drill, and then we're able to pull that off, and then that will hopefully make it to where we can get this cover off. Yeah, well, these studs are kind of up and in the way, aren't they?
Well, I bet this alternator mount has to come off eventually. So now would be
that's probably
take it off.
what we have to do next. Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll take the alternator mount off there next. All right, so now we're just taking this alternator mount. It's a 13 millimeter. Yeah, so we got these here, and then these 2 we just had to loosen, and then it slides out sideways here, so I'm not I don't do good at recording with two hands here. So let's kind of move this pulley, or the timing cover up. Is it sliding out?
Is it hitting something down here?
That could be just that, right?
Could be, but it's not.
Let's try to pull this. Well, we can get this out.
Hitting the water pump.
Yeah. I think we can pull this up. Out of the way. There we go. Okay. Oh, see, there's the cam thing that it's kind of keeping it. There you go. Okay. So, all right. Now we got this, and we can just slide this plastic thing out. I don't have two hands, so I'll do that later. But then, yeah. So this will come out.
Oh, we gotta get
And I don't know. I think we might have to back that bolt out to get this out of the way. So for the cam, I thought there was a way.
we could.
Oh, pull this bolt out and that bolt out. We could be able to swivel it. No.
We gotta take this.
Yeah, I think we gotta get this bolt out of the way. So that's that. All right, we ended up just using a pair of vice grips. You can grip the non-threaded portion of this bolt and turn it. You can also get a torque socket to do it if you wanted to, but we couldn't find any torque sockets around here. So once he gets that out, then there you go. Whole assembly all taken out there. Go. Okay, so we're just trying to get the camshaft timing set correct. Oh, you pushed too hard there. So we have this special tool that we use to make sure that we have top dead center done on this. I can give you the tool part number in just a second.
What'd this tool cost?
For the kit, it was like, I think 86 bucks. It doesn't say, it doesn't have the part number on it. And I got it from a different, I got it from DP Tool, and it doesn't have like the, it doesn't have the part numbers anywhere on it. So anyway, I'll have to post it in my comments afterwards, but it has all the other tools that we're going to need for the cam positions. We're going to use this. It also has, I think we use this to lock in something. Anyway, we'll come back to that. Okay. Yeah, so one other thing, if you didn't have that tool, I mean, that tool will be helpful later on as well, but you'll notice there's a empty dot on this outer ring. There's only one on each of these shafts. So, and they're both right at the top. So, and then these notches are right opposite of each other. So once you do that, so once you rotate it to where they're even.
Look at this.
Right, the other thing you'll notice.
So this is a slice.
Yeah, in the gear there, right above the dot when it's in top center.
Yeah. And on this side, it's a dot.
Yeah, see the dot right in between the teeth.
And those line up with the cam.
Yep. So the cam and then the gear have the little notch right there. That's the only place in these gears that have notches. So if you look all the way around the gears, you're not gonna find any more little notches. But right there, you've got a notch. None of the others have a notch, so. All right, this timing belt, it's not super crazy, so we were able to just use a pry bar to pry it off like this.
Oh my.
This Torx, it was a T40, but it just didn't feel, it was really tight. So we decided not to try to force it off of this water pump assembly. I mean, man, it would suck to have to replace the water pump in this thing. Anyway, so there's our timing belt. 115,000 miles, doesn't look too bad. I mean, that's a good looking belt still. All right. You're tight, yeah. There you go. So these last two bolts for the water pump. Oh, here's an extension.
Got it.
You got it? And there's the fluid. Let me grab the towel real quick. Towel underneath there. All right. Now we can finally take this stupid water pump off. Oh, there's one more under here. Oh. See, I took, yeah, now we're gushing. Just a mechanical water pump, but that would suck if that came off, or that went bad. Now that we got the water pump removed, getting this water pump input thing is a little bit of a pain, because we've been using this, it's got a hammer, and we're just hitting it across there. So looks like they just used some silicone on there to get that. So. All right, so next thing we're going to take these aluminum cam covers off. So I've got a 12 deep for this little plastic. I think this is so that you can clip that annoying plastic thing over the top of the engine. So let's just take that off. So that's just on this stud here. We'll put it back on when we're done. And I think this is a 10 deep, or maybe it's even an 8, yeah. So that should be an 8 deep socket. I'll grab here. Got it, yeah. Have to use my little guy. So that's just an 8 deep socket. And then these others are, looks like they're 8s as well. So we'll get these two here. Okay. And then this guy. Okay. So that's, and maybe Papa's right. This does look like it is attached to this whole vacuum unit. I don't know, let me get my screwdriver here. We'll use the powers of persuasion a little bit. Feels like it's different, but something. Get some of this silicone off of here. You know what? This doesn't even look like it comes off. it's all part of the head. That doesn't look like it's part of it. So I am a little confused right now. Yeah, I'm just a little bit confused. Anyway, I guess we'll go ahead and pull these 8 off. I'll come back when I get that done. Thanks. All right, so we're just gonna try to pull this like vacuum assembly thing. I don't know exactly what it is. It's like a vent right there, a crankcase vent or something. So, but I have to get this silly little bracket off over here so that I can get to those bolts. So I just pulled these. I had to use a 10 deep socket. So I pulled those off, set these aside. And then I have to switch to an 8 deep to get the 3. There's one right here that I've already got loose. And then I've got 2 more underneath here. Coming up pretty quick. Okay, so that one's loose. And then this guy. All right. Now, let's see what happens. Does that make this guy loose? Loosey-goosey? Yeah. See this? And we just pull him straight back. Look at that. I don't know what that is.
That's a vacuum pump drive.
Yeah, a vacuum pump drive. Okay. I guess it clicks right into the cam here, so it's got little notches there. Can you see that? See the little notches right there? And that's what this connects into right here. So, vacuum pump drive. Well, handy dandy. Thank you. Okay. Apparently, after further investigation, this is a separate part. We just had to get a screwdriver underneath here and pop it up. Once we got it loosened, we're able to connect it, and you see there's a dowel pin right there. That's what was holding it so tightly. And then we have our gasket just kind of stuck to it. A lot of silicone on there. So we're able to get this part off, and now we have that camshaft pretty much fully exposed. Okay, thank you. All right, so we're gonna get this other aluminum cover off. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bolts holding it down. A lot for such a little thing. And then just use a screwdriver to pry this open. There we go. Pull this gasket off of it.
Oh, something dropped out.
Yep, that would be the fuel cup. So, well, no, I don't know. Is that, yeah, this is fuel. And so right here, there's a little fuel cup underneath there. Fits right, fits right there. So you got to be careful to make sure you don't lose this sucker, especially down in your valves there. So, okay. 2, okay.
So we're taking the camshafts out, undoing the little saddles. These saddles are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4.
1,
2, 3, 4. The number's right on top there. And it's critical that the caps go back the same place that they came off, because at the factory they're line bored. And if they don't go back, then it'll seize up the camshafts. And on this side, it's A, B, C, D. And the same goes for it. So these just pop off. And notice the one, you do not want to turn them around either, like this. That could make them seize up. So bring them off the same way they came on.
Yep.
And
You got your
you'll be home sweet.
timing chain side over off to the right there, and then you got your one facing this direction. 2, 3, 4. So, okay. All right. So to get these out, we've got the brackets, the 4 brackets pulled out, and then we had to undo these 4 bolts here. So let's go ahead and take these 4. You'll notice they have washers on them. Anytime you're doing aluminum to aluminum, you have to have the washers apparently. So probably for heat expansion or something like that. Here, let's unscrew this one a little bit more here. I think we got a few more turns left on this guy. There you go. Straight up. And it's caught on out inside the cams there. Okay. So there's that piece. Little cam mount. All right, so we're pulling this left-hand cam out.
Oh, you know, the head protrudes inside the lip of the gear.
Oh, do we have to take those
We do. We have
gears
to take
out?
the gears off.
Somehow? That's interesting. There's no way to just lift this up and then push it out that way?
No,
It's,
because this.
yeah, it's seized right there. So, yeah, all right, we're fake it till we make it here. So apparently we have to undo the gear here. There's some Torx nuts or Torx bolts inside there.
Yeah,
We'll have
this
to-
here is what you want to undo.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
I think.
Like an Allen.
try
All right,
it
we'll
and
play
see.
around with this and we'll let you know.
Let me get the lights.
All right, disconnecting the flywheel from the, I got it, it's good enough.
Is it? Oh.
Yeah, disconnecting the flywheel from the engine, or from the transmission.
Torque converter.
The torque converter, yeah. So anyway, to do that, we have to hook this pulley back up, and then we just crank it around, and then this is a 15 mil wrench. We'll get it on there. I just back it up to that piece. It's really tough, so I have to crank it. So
Deep socket works best.
yeah, deep socket works best. Okay, so to get these gears off, you have to, I'm just using a crescent wrench, but I think it's a 20 millimeter. And there's a place on the
X.
camshaft that you can, a hex there that you can use to grab to help offload the pressure. And then you just turn this, and this is something I didn't see in any videos, probably because these stupid little caps get all chewed up, because it's just a little hex bolt that does it. And whoever put this one on must have been descended from apes or something, I don't know. So yeah, I had to use vice grips, and we had to pound it at the same time. It was quite a, blowtorch it, everything. So yeah, we had to use a chisel, obviously. You can see we beat the tar out of it. And hopefully we don't have to do the same with this one, but I'm having a sneaking suspicion we will. So anyway, thanks.
Outclassed here. There we go.
Okay. All right, so now that we've got those plugs off of these cam gears,
Yeah.
now we just get these inner bolts out. I think these are the VCT bolts. I actually ordered some new ones. This one was supposed to be 18 foot-pounds, but the funny thing is the one that was in this one, whoever did this one last, it didn't even act like it tightened.
It was only finger tight.
It was only finger tight. It came loose while we were undoing the outer plug. So this thing was just spinning freely from the whole camshaft. So you see how I can spin this right now? It was just spinning freely, so.
I think there's supposed to be little pins sticking out here that.
Let's see what this one looks like. No pins sticking out, but there is a notch. See that notch right there? Does that one have a notch?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so.
The keyway.
So there's a key somehow, somewhere on, but I'm not sure.
There's no key on the cam.
There's no key on the cam. How does that match up?
How do you time that is the question.
It's a good question. All right, well, we'll have to figure that out.
I'll leave that over here somewhere because it goes on this side.
Differentiate.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thanks. All right, so we pulled the camshaft out, and I've got it 1, 2, 3, 4 here, facing the same direction that I have on the engine over there. And then these are the little cups that are specifically gapped for the valves. So we have to make sure that we keep these on the right valves. So I've laid them out directionally so that I don't forget which cup is on which one. And I'm gonna do the same with the other camshaft. So thank you. All right, so we'll pull this right side camshaft. I'll just set it over here directionally the same way. So it just sets there. Then I'll come back over here and I'll start with this first cup right here. Just get it. Got it here. And I'll set it right by its little position sensor thing.
Lobe.
What? It's lobe?
The lobe that the can.
Yeah, the lobe that it represents. So I'm just going to keep doing that for all 8 of these. Thank you. All right, so right now I'm taking off, loosening the head bolts. There's 10 of them, 5 on each side. And what I've done is I started in the middle and did about half a turn on the 2 middle here, 2 middle there, and then these 2 in the middle. And now I'm working on the outsides. I already got that end on this side, and now I'm doing this. I have to use a cheater bar because these suckers are on tight. So.
Moving the cart.
Yep. So I'm just doing about half a turn. And now I'll do this end here. Oh, actually I have to come over. I'll do this right here.
Tell them that prevents warpage of the head.
Yeah, well there you go. You heard it from the horse's mouth. This prevents warpage of the head, because if you untighten them all the way at the same time, or in the middle, then while the others are tight, then it causes some warping. So just doing half a turn there. Wipe it off. I also, this T55 Torx bit is what I'm using, and I've got it converted up to a 1/2 inch drive. And this T55 Torx bit was getting hydrolocked into each of these bolts, so I had to soak all of the oil out of the bolts so that it wasn't getting hydrolocked into the bolts and dropping my bit down in there. So let's do this one. Give it a little, another 1/4 turn. Okay. All right, what do you think, Pops? Just go another 1 turn on each, or
Just take them out.
just take them out at this point?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got them all loosened. We'll start here where we started. Yeah, and that's easy to get. And take it out, and I'll just keep going around here. That's easy to do by hand now. Let's get this one. Yep, just have to break it a little bit more. So those middle ones are loose now.
You could use your drill in the back.
Pretty much hand tight at this point. Yeah, so I just want to break them the rest of the way here. So I got all the middles loose. Let's get this end. 10 of them in here. Yeah, that one's still a little bit tight. There we go. Get that end.
That's probably good enough, Tiger.
Okay. All right, so we got all 10 bolts removed. And then what I did is I just used this pry bar over here. Just there's a little shelf right here you can use to just kind of break it loose, and which it's acting pretty loose now. So I think it's just going to come right up. So you see oil coming out here. All right, so I'm just going to lift it up and we'll set it over on that stand. There she goes. There she is.
There's some Slurpee.
Yeah. We'll just set the head. Well, here. Get a good look underneath this guy.
There's some oil coming out.
Yeah. There's our head there. First look. You got to see it before I did.
Turn it over upside down.
Oh.
So we can inspect it.
Well, I can't. I got this. I can take these
Yeah, that's good enough.
bolts out. Is that good enough? Okay. We can just set it on its side. And have a look at those valves. They got a little bit of buildup here, like this guy. There's a little bit of pitting, it looks like. But yeah, you can see our spark plugs.
They don't look too awful bad, really. They'll clean up good.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll just have to go through and clean this up, clean up some of the buildup around here. Say right here is a lot of our problems. Okay, let's go back over here to the block. Let's take a look and see if it's an old block or a new block. We were questioning. And I would say,
Pull the head gasket on.
oh yeah, this is a head gasket, so we still don't know. Here, let me get a screwdriver.
Careful not to scratch the block.
Yeah.
That's an old one.
Verdict, it's an old block, and you can see right here, this is where the problem is. It just leaves just a little bit of material there between, and this head gasket just doesn't do its job very well. And you can see all the antifreeze in the cylinder itself. That was there when we pulled the block off.
So can you put two
every
more cylinders?
cylinder has antifreeze in it.
Oh, those are cylinders. Way
Every
back there.
single cylinder has antifreeze in it. I'm surprised this thing even ran. With how much. Let's see the other side of this thing. Yeah, so crazy. Okay, thank you.
There you go.
Okay, here we are on the front side of the engine, and I just have to take this little booger off. Yeah, there's some coolant. I don't know what it is. Some kind of, it's probably a coolant pump for one of the components. And then I have a couple of transmission bolts right here and here. I've already loosened this one, took this one out. Oh no, this was the starter bolts. And then I loosened some more transmission bolts over on this side that you can see. right here, here, and then I have another one or two down here. So I might have to tilt the engine a little bit to get to those. And then I have these two up here, and then we'll pull that engine block. We'll pull it apart from the transmission. And we already did the video of disconnecting the flywheel to the torque converter. So we already did 4 of these nuts. We already took those off. Thank you. All right, so I got these 2 transmission bolts underneath. These are the same length. And then this one's a little bit longer, right above the drive shaft there. And then this one's even longer up here. So then these 2 up here are like the same length as these. So those are the 2 top, and then come around here. The 2 that were down here are the same length, like the standard length transmission bolts. And then this bad boy right here, I think that was, no, sorry. That was right here. Yeah, no, sorry. Don't listen to me yet. Okay, that was right here on this side. So, and he is kind of like this middle length one. So like on the other side. So that's our transmission bolts. Okay, I got that. All right, okay. So now we've got the transmission, or the engine block, kind of cracked away from the transmission. We had to use a little pry bar, just a little bit of pressure is all we put here. And now we're just kind of pulling it back. Keep an eye on that tranny.
Want to make sure the torque converter stays with the transmission and doesn't come out with the flywheel. Otherwise, you'll lose a couple gallons of automatic transmission fluid
Oof.
on your workbench.
That would not be cool. Okay. So yeah, that's why you had that holding there.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, I'll just lift this guy. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Just setting him down here. Now we can turn it.
Wasn't all that heavy. I think I was only lifting about 30 or 40 pounds.
Yep. Not that bad. Okay, I think we're good. All right, now all we have to do is I think I'll probably get the other engine block over here, and I'll start putting it side by side, just taking stuff off of this block, the oil filter assembly, and then start turning it around. We'll get the flywheel off, all the stuff, and we'll just work them side by side. Thank you.